From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Wait. Hi, I'm Noah with your campus weather forecast on December 15th. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday. Here we can see a live view of the Nittany Valley. As you can see, there is some light precipitation in the air, or possibly just visual effects from a bad camera connection. Either way, it's looking pretty grainy out there. Right now in State College, it is 9 degrees, but it feels like it's -8. The dew point's at -1 and visibility is at 10 miles. The wind is blowing westward at 16 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. It may not be, but I'm gonna guess it is. Right now we can see a live shot, time-lapse actually, of Beaver Stadium, the best stadium in the entire world. Funny story, the largest sports stadium is in North Korea, the second largest, University of Michigan. So what we can see here is that clearly North Korea, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, they are the same. Third largest is Beaver Stadium, of course, the best stadium in the country, in the world, I dare say. Anyway, there's some time-lapse of that. There's some more time-lapse of that, because you just can't ever see enough of Beaver. I said you just can't ever see enough of Beaver. There we go. Now we can look at Pennsylvania, the greatest state in the Union, of course. As you can see right here in the center county there, it's 9 degrees in State College. Over here in the Williamsport, Scranton, Allentown area, where I'm from, Bloomsburg is right in the middle of those. The only town in Pennsylvania. That's a fun, true story. The rest of them are cities or villages. But Bloomsburg is the only official town. In there, it's still pretty cold, although a few degrees warmer. As we go down into Johnston area and Pittsburgh, you can see it's very cold. Franklin as well. Coach Franklin, cold as ice. Anywhere in the 4 to 7 degree range. Up there in Erie, you can see it's 13 degrees. Not really sure what the qualifications are for lake effect snow, but they'll probably get some of that at some point. Down in Harrisburg, it's 16, and in Philadelphia, it's 18, practically sunny and balmy. And here we can see the most of the nation as the rest of it loads in there. Here in Los Angeles, it's 56 degrees. Now, isn't that lucky? Right in that kind of Pasadena area is the Rose Bowl fun story, where I will be in a couple of weeks' time, not too long now. Down in Tampa, 63 degrees. Corpus Christi, 60. Gotta love the South this time of year. Up in Portland, it's 30, just barely making freezing. 11 degrees in Billings. I don't even know where that is. 4 degrees in Bismarck, and -8 in the International Falls. Not sure what that means, but hey, it's okay. 19 degrees in Boston, and that is your nation. Back in Pennsylvania, we can see what it feels like. And as you can see, State College, of course, -8 degrees. It's very cold out. Pittsburgh, -5. Johnston, -18. Never been to Johnston. Didn't know it existed until now. Bradford up there. Really would have sworn Bradford was in Connecticut, but apparently it's in the north of Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, of course, everybody you know from this school is from in or around Philadelphia. And it is 4 degrees, or it feels like 4 degrees there. Erie, -1. Scranton, 1. All that fun stuff. Now we can zoom out. We can see some radar and satellite time-lapse footage of Pennsylvania and the surrounding Northeast. There are some clouds, what I assume are clouds up there. They generally bring precipitation with them, unless they don't bring precipitation. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. It's all magic to me. I'm sure somebody else who's actually in this major could tell you, I am not in this major, but if you want to know about resistors, I know all about them. Actually, I don't. That's a lie. If you start adding inductors, it just gets messy. Did not do well on that portion of the final. But when it's just resistors, you have to love resistors. Fine things resistors are. My professor, Chad the Hamster Hanna, taught me all that I know about resistors. Anyway, we're doing the weather, and you can see some little bits of clouds right there over Erie. That's the lake effect stuff, I think, that I was talking about earlier. Don't honestly know. There's some little bits of stuff, whatever. 80, Route 80, gotta love Route 80. Takes me home. Taking me home tomorrow. And we're sticking with the same time-lapse radar satellite image, but with more. Oh, and there's fronts going on now, people. This is some next-level technology, but as you can see, there's a red front moving in. Red, of course, meaning red. Warm. As you can see, there is a warm front moving. Well, right now it's staying still. There's a warm front staying still. Right goes over what looks like Cleveland to Washington. You can also see the blue front that's moving over Cincinnati right now. And there's also a large L. Oh, and there's some progression. They've moved along, and you can see that Pennsylvania is right on this intersection point. You can find that intersection point by setting the equations of the lines equal to each other and solving for the equal points. I learned that in calculus. Actually, I learned that in pre-calculus. And as you can see, that intersection line has moved across the center of Pennsylvania in a line right along where we are, right in the famous Pennsylvania line that consists all of Pennsylvania, right from Pittsburgh, State College, and Philadelphia. That's all there is to Pennsylvania, folks. And you can see that line moves out to sea to go be free. Now there's some green, and now white, and now not a lot over us. It's starting to fade out, which means, of course, it will be getting warmer or colder, or it'll be staying the same. Honestly, who can say? Weather is not a science. Meteorology, on the other hand, that is a science, but I do not study it. Weather is a natural phenomenon. And here we're back to future temperatures. As you can see, we get all the way up to 50 degrees. Are we sure about that? Well, I guess we're going to get up to 50 degrees in here sometime in the future. At some point, we will reach a few billion degrees as the sun reaches the end of its life and expands and swallows the earth. That'll be a warm day. Calling that forecast with some degree of accuracy. As you can see, 32 degrees in State College, 34 degrees in Williamsport, 40 degrees in Harrisburg, and still freezing in Johnstown. Johnston? Johnstown. It's one of the two. I've never been to Johnstown. I think I reviewed that I didn't know that it existed before this report. 30 degrees in Pittsburgh, 27 in Erie and Franklin. Again, the coldest in Bradford with 23 degrees. Don't know what they're doing up there. 44 degrees in Philadelphia, practically balmy. I'm sure my grandparents who live there will enjoy that. For the next 3 days, you can see it's going to be scattered snow cold. That, of course, being the derivative of just cold, and it's actually cold factorial, which is even worse than cold, let me tell you. I've only seen cold factorial a few times in my life, and it has to do with the polar vortex. It's nasty. You do not want to experience it, folks. As we can see, though, after Thursday, on Friday, tomorrow, it will be mostly cloudy with a few flurries for my drive back to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, the only town in Pennsylvania. And on Saturday, we'll have wintry mix, 42 degrees for when I go get my Christmas tree. No better weather, folks, let me tell you. And that's been the weather, I think. There might be more after it, but I've been Noah S. Wood. Don't read it all too fast or it comes out kind of weird, but with the Campus Weather Service for your weather this December 15th, 2016, Thursday. Thank you and good night. Wait.